Hey everyone, welcome back to noseyAF, conversations about art, activism, and social change. I'm your host and friend, Stephanie Graham, and today I have a fellow Stephanie on the show, which is honestly a first for this podcast. I don't know about you, but whenever I meet someone who shares my name, it always sort of makes me chuckle. It's just like, oh, hi. But quick heads up before we get into uh, everything today. This episode includes an open and honest discussion about postpartum depression and mental health challenges. So please take care of yourself and listen when it feels right for you. So my guest today is Stephanie Rubinato, and she's doing something I think is super necessary but rarely talked about. Stephanie's creating space for conversations about mental health and moving abroad. Because here's the thing. We all see these gorgeous YouTube channels of couples living their best lives in Spain, Portugal, Costa Rica. But what about the postpartum depression? What about isolation? What about not being able to communicate in your new language and feeling as if you've maybe lost your intelligence? So I'm really happy to have Stephanie today because these are some of the things we talk about. Stephanie's Moved with Peace project and why mental health for immigrants and expats need more attention. How Stephanie has navigated postpartum depression while living in Italy with two small kids. The misconceptions about doing it all when you're actually just trying to keep it together, and why sometimes the goal is just maximum joy for minimum effort. So let's get with our theme music and have a conversation that's honest, grounding, and perfect for anyone who's ever felt like they need to have it all figured out, which really, spoiler alert, nobody does. Welcome to noseyAF.
Vision of a star with a mission in the cause. What you doing, how you doing, what you doing, and who you are. Flex yourself, impress yourself. Check yourself, don't wreck yourself. If you know me, then you know that I be knowing what's up. Hey, Stephanie Graham is nosy as
Stephanie, welcome to noseyAF.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I'm so happy to have you here. You're the first other Stephanie I've had on the podcast, so what a treat.
Yay, can't have too many Stephanies.
I know, right?
I don't know anyone actually. I mean, I know like a few people named Stephanie, but I don't know. I feel like that name is not as popular as other names that have come out in the last decade or so.
So true. I know. When I was in 8th grade, I feel like I went to school with two other Stephanies, Black Stephanies at that. And it was just like so crazy. So everybody like called us by, they always had to say our like full name, like, did you know Stephanie Graham did this, But yeah. So I want to talk to you about your project, Moved with Peace. Can you tell us like a little bit about this project? What inspired Moved with Peace? Was there like a particular moment when you realized peace was something you wanted to build a whole community around?
Yes, it has stemmed from my personal experience having moved to Italy, but actually encompassing many years of moving. I was an Air Force kid and I moved around quite a lot. And spanning moves from different age brackets and up to being an adult with family, moving to Italy this time around was a complete new experience because of taking care of two little ones. And also I had a mental health challenge that I was dealing with. And I realized that the narrative around living in another country, people talk a lot about all the other aspects of that, of work, of relationships, of family, the job, culture, but what about mental health initiatives and challenges and things that people face? So I wanted to start that discussion with people, especially immigrants and migrants, expats, digital nomads, anyone who's not living in their home country and living somewhere else, how they navigate those challenges and how we strive to be at peace, but sometimes we don't manage to be there all the time. There are moments, seasons when things are high and then seasons where things are low. So I wanted to start building a community, discussion around this and how there's no shame in sharing the journeys that are difficult because it's not always the rose-colored glasses.
Right. It's not always like the beautiful couple that has the YouTube channel that's like, look at our move to Spain.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, and everything just looks so perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what was the behind the scenes like? Like, what about immigration? What about bureaucracy? What about, did you find the right place when you first moved? Was there any stigmatism around, being an American and taking over locals' homes and apartments and things? Because, those are issues that locals, face when gentrification happens in other parts of the world, all around the world. So, yeah.
I remember I was watching a YouTube channel, speaking of YouTube, where it was a woman who had moved to Ghana and she was having a conversation with a local being like, am I a part of the problem of like, of like things rising around here, because like Americans are moving here. And, she was saying that it was a challenge because they moved there for like a more affordable life, but then maybe people find out, oh, all these Americans, let's raise the price. Then maybe it's still something that they can afford. And now it's just like a mess for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fine balance of wanting to immerse yourself in culture and also be able to live a life that you want, but of course, not impacting the local community that's already where you have moved to and supporting and uplifting them. But of course, the systematic things that are in place, you can't control, some of that. So, yeah, you can only
Yeah.
do what you can.
Right. You're like the first person I know of that like centers mental health around moving abroad. Was it like reflective, like as you look back now, thinking like, hey, this is something important? Or did you realize it like while you were having challenges, you're like, I need somebody, like a community around, like while I'm going through this?
It was reflective for sure
Mm.
because while I was in it, I was doing a lot of masking and I had postpartum depression when I moved to Italy. I had started therapy while I was in New York. I wasn't able to continue when I left,
Mm.
and it took me about a year and a half, maybe around a year, to find a therapist that I felt comfortable speaking with and sharing my struggles. I wanted a woman of color,
Hmm.
someone who was already on this side of the world in Europe, and
Yeah.
someone who spoke English and who understood the lived experience of being an immigrant or migrant, expat, whatever you feel you are. And I found that through another woman who is based in Milan. And I believe her name is Tia Taylor. And she is a Nigerian American. And she had mentioned who her therapist was. And so
Mm.
I sent her a DM and I said, hey, would you mind sharing who your therapist is? Because I need support.
Yeah, yeah. Man, shout out to her for not gatekeeping. Some people be like, oh, like, I don't know if I should be sharing. And it's just like, come
Yeah.
on, man. It's not like you're going to say, hey, y'all, Natalie's also going to Tia, it's not like that. You're just going to keep it to yourself. But yeah, I really appreciate when folks will like clearly share resources like that. It's so
Yeah,
important.
it's super important. And so I pay it forward when someone, is asking for therapist support and information, and I freely share it with the okay of my therapist, of course.
Yes.
But,
Right. She's like, don't
uh,
send me everybody, right?
I'm sure she may not have the capacity to have so many clients at the moment, but I try to help people the way I can. And after I was in the process of healing and being able to finally be on the other side a little bit in more clarity, I realized that it's super important to lean on a community that you can create where you are. I definitely felt that while I was still in my postpartum depression, I was kind of spiraling and going inward and not reaching out to people. It took me time to realize who I could feel comfortable relating to. So, that's another layer. But once I did find that tribe and, fully leaning on them, saying, hey, I'm at this moment in time, not doing all right, but, I'm reaching out just to say, hey, if you guys are able to just, someone has the capacity to just listen or talk or even go for a walk or something like that. And, people showed up and really made an effort to not let me get into a deeper spiral.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. I'm happy that you had people to be able to show up for you. Yeah, just to be able, like, to go on a walk or whatever. Something that sort of, like, takes me on a bit of a tangent is when you have a friend who might need support in that way and you're on a walk, and as you're listening, you're like, "Oh, this is really heavy." And now they're like, "What do I say or do?" Any advice around that?
Absolutely. First, it's always okay to say that you either have the capacity or don't have the capacity to be there as a support system for them, in the sense of you having the capacity to listen and show up for them, but you don't know what you can do for them. You can honestly just say that as well. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I really care about you and I'm thinking about you and I don't know what you might need at this point or this moment in time. I'm here to listen. Sometimes just even saying that can be really comforting. Sometimes, people don't want necessarily advice or a solution. They
Yeah.
just want someone to acknowledge that they're going through some pain and that they're not alone. And that if they, do want some resources or think they need support in a professional way, you can reach out to other folks who may have had some experiences with it. Of course, not fully disclosing what, your friend may be going through or whatnot.
Right, right.
But giving them just the open channel of them saying, yes, I think maybe I could use some professional help, or I don't know what I need at this time, but you're just being here is enough.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. Thank you for that advice. Because I remember one time in particular, I was in church and this woman was telling me like her story, and it was just so much. I was just like, wow. And I didn't know what to say. But then the evangelist like grabbed her away. She's like, you're too young to hear her story anyway. She shouldn't be doing that to you. And I was just like, oh, okay. It was all just so wild. Oh my
Just whisk
goodness.
her away. It's
Right,
too
just
much.
whisked her away. She's like, "Here, I'll talk to her. She shouldn't be telling you this, like you're in college, and she's like a grown woman." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was listening though. One thing that I think is like that I love with your work is that you focus on like slow living and self-trust. And like how do you personally practice those things in a world that's constantly telling us move faster, do more? Even like in this world of like self-care, I feel like where you would think people were slowing down, it doesn't feel like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of get that urgency of you got to get better. You got to get back on the good foot. It's temporary. It's going to all pass. And I mean, yeah, of course, we hope it will pass. We just don't have a definitive timeline when it will pass, right? And you
Mhm.
can't put yourself on a deadline to say, okay, this is when I'm healed and I can do more things and be able to live my life again.
Right.
It really does not work that way. So I actually had taken a break from social media for about a year and a half and quietly, without fanfare, just, deactivated my Instagram, just all platforms, just quietly just left for a bit of time. And I had gotten a lot of anxiety just around so much information coming at you, content coming at you, and needed quiet and just to focus on the coping skills that I learned with working with my therapist and having real live connection with people, just being present in the world and physically being around other people. I feel like our world is so digitally tech infused. Being in the real world and just being out with people helped me to just be grounded
Mhm.
and understand that I have my own rhythm and I need to just always listen to that and be aware of the push and pull that I get.
Yeah.
And then I'm not in competition with anyone. And I shouldn't even be in competition with myself.
Yeah, really.
I am building my own foundation, a new foundation, and I don't have to be on any timeline. It's how I feel as I'm growing and changing and what feels right.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of journaling, a lot of writing, a lot of meditation. It's a definitely weekly, if not daily practice. I try to do it daily.
Okay.
But it's especially, definitely every week.
Yeah.
And affirmations. I do a lot of affirmations too. I love affirmation cards. And
Yeah.
I use intelligent change, not trying to promote them or anything, but I really love their affirmation cards and so I've been using them a lot. And yeah, so really just listening to that rhythm in myself of how things are moving and giving myself grace, really, that all
Yeah.
things come to you when they should.
Yeah. So you stayed off social media for a year and a half. Did you go back or are you still off?
I am slowly
Okay.
back on, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel like with social media in particular, Instagram or maybe all social media, it just feels like an extra task. I was even thinking for this podcast, like I released an episode and then I'll write like an email about it and all of that. But then I'm like, okay, now I have to pull these clips for social media. And when I'm like, maybe I'll stop, but then I feel bad. I'm like, well, I posted clips for all these other people. Like, what about the next people, But it's just like, and I do get that folks that are on there, they do want something to link to so that they can share, like, hey, I was on this. So I feel like most of the time when I do that, it's in service of them.
Yeah.
But man, it's still just like a lot to watch the clips and pull it. Like, I feel like my tension with social media also comes in the like creation for social media when I rather just like, I created this episode and that should just be it, and I should be able to move on.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I'm going to post something, it better be worth it. Like, so let me do a good job about being intentional about it. But that takes so much energy. And I feel like if I think when leaving social media, there's really good, now I've been paying attention to like the movement people on there who have like, do this exercise like for your hip, or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, do they have YouTube? Do they have like a podcast? And a lot of them don't. They just use Instagram. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to miss these like great hip opener ideas you have. But like, gosh, just like, I totally feel you when you say, you just wanted quiet.
Yeah.
There's not even really like an easy way to just like post quietly and just leave it alone, Like if there was, I guess I could just post it and then like walk away from it. I'll have to think about that because like I would just rather do that if so. But I just say all this to say that I totally get, you know what? It's too loud. This is too much. Goodbye. And just like need some quiet. I totally get that.
Yeah, I needed a lot of quiet in the last year. Also for my own sanity of not having imposter syndrome about other people's joys and things like that. Like it was just, I think the only way I felt even more quiet when coming back online was starting the blog because it felt very intimate where the audience could find me or they couldn't. And I didn't have to feel like, I need to get all these hashtags and things like that. I mean, of course, there's the keywords and SEO and all of that. But as you're writing your blog post, I don't know, I felt connected in a different way than I had before. And I feel like blogging and then with email, they still kind of have this kind of intimate way of connecting because they're channeled to you, right? So, but yeah, I think if Instagram shut down tomorrow, I would not be sad.
Right.
If TikTok shut down tomorrow, I would not be sad. I think YouTube is the only other platform that I still really do like going because I learned so much from the platform. There's so many
Yeah.
tutorials and so many interesting documentaries and indie content that people are creating, like, and it's long form. So like it takes my attention and keeps it there, like as opposed to the short form content that's just like the quick dopamine hit.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, for sure. I totally get that. I know when TikTok came back, I was like, man, I was hoping it would go away so that everybody could just get off of it. But I'm like, you know what? That's okay. Because there are people who really, really do enjoy TikTok.
Yeah.
But, you have like family and, you're moving, you blog, you do films, you do all this stuff. And I'm just so curious, what is, the biggest misconception you think people have about doing it all?
I think that people believe that you have it all together.
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
that you are on top of it all and you're maintained and focused and concentrated. When I feel half the time I'm frazzled and I have to constantly look at my agenda book, my calendar, and remind myself what is happening today.
Yes.
What things I have to do today. I
Yes.
can't even think like towards the end of the week. I literally look at each day and say, okay, this is what I'm doing today. This is what are the things I need to get done. Of course, in my head, I know what I will do every morning, like yoga or movement or meditation or something. But I have to constantly make sure, like, what are the things that I need to make sure I keep doing, make sure I keep writing, make sure I keep connecting with people, make sure that I'm reaching out and having conversations and learning about other people, like, and then family and making sure that my kids have all the things they need in school and their projects, and then working with my husband on his business. And it's like I have to compartmentalize parts of my life in these sections of things. And
My messy creative life, I'm always like, be quiet. I don't,
yeah,
even though that's the truth, but like, yeah, I don't like that. For some reason, I don't like that phrase. My messy creative life, like, be quiet.
messy is
I don't,
just part of it. It's not like, I don't know, a title. It's just like, of course, being creative is messy part of the time, right? It's never going to be perfect. So,
right. It's not like seamless.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It has its ebbs and flows and goes all around and turned around and everything. That's makes it fun most of the time.
Yeah. So we've sort of hinted at it a little bit, but you currently live in Italy. What brought you to Italy?
Yeah. Well, my husband and I, we came here from New York. We used to live in Harlem,
Mm-hmm.
and we decided after many years change of scenery, we had two small children, and we thought, okay, well, New York is getting a little pricey. We need more support because all of my family, they are actually not from New York.
Mm.
And some folks live in New Jersey, and other people live. My mom lives several hours away in Virginia. So we had as much support as we could.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Family and nannies and babysitters and neighbors and friends. And so we thought, okay, well, let's give Italy a try. Um, we had reservations, of course, about it. And I'm a planner, so I kind of like to think about all of the different scenarios and things.
Yeah.
But of course, it still doesn't prepare you for more things that you didn't think about.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was definitely eye-opening experience to
Mhm.
be on the other side of the water. And definitely the first, I would say 3 to 4 years did not feel settled at all. We
Mm.
didn't even know if we were gonna stay in Italy. Like, we were thinking, "Maybe we need to get out of here. Maybe we need to go somewhere else," you know? And we finally felt like we had our footing around year 5.
Okay, okay.
Year 5, yeah. It took some time, it took some time.
What made you, like, stay the course, you think? Just, like what made you, like, push through? Just because you had gotten there already, or?
Partly the pandemic.
Ah, right.
Because we literally
There
got
is
there
that.
about a year and some change before the pandemic happened, and then it was just we were stuck here. Like,
That's true.
Italy became, part of the epicenter,
Yeah.
and things shut down, things closed.
Right.
We couldn't
Yeah,
get out.
that's so true. Oh my gosh. Like, I feel like what is time? Like 5 years ago? Like, yeah, it seems like it took you 5 years to really start to have your year one because you had to like deal with all of pandemic stuff.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah,
It
and
was
Italy was
nuts.
catching it so hard. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, how long have you been living there at this point then? Is it
7 years.
7 years? Okay. Has living abroad shifted your creative rhythm or like your sense of identity?
Yes, I have really had to be intentional about my heritage and culture that I grew up with and keeping part of that with me
Mhm.
and not, I don't want to say that I'm totally fully immersed myself as an Italian. Of course, I do want to be in the culture and learn the language and everything, but I have these other rich cultural heritage that I did not want to give up. So maintaining traditions and rituals and things are super important for me. Part of that is missing my family's Guyanese cooking and
Mm.
calling my mom to get recipes and
Mhm.
getting certain foods when she comes to visit and things like that so that I can feel part of that home here and also passing it down to my children because they came when they were very little. So their cultural identity has the American aspect, the Italian aspect, and then also trying to fill in a bit of the Caribbean
Yeah.
aspect as well. So that's super important for me to maintain and keep in the family.
Yeah. The Moved with Peace series that you created, what's been one of the most surprising or emotional stories you've encountered through these conversations you've been having?
Yeah, I feel that a lot of women that I've talked to have had such a wide range of experiences. Some of the common themes that I've seen is feeling this isolation and that they have not found the type of friendships that are below the surface, not just
Meet
top
for
of
coffee.
skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's been a real issue as well as being burnt out and feeling like you're not understood when you are trying to learn a new language and you can't communicate the way you want to because you don't have the vocabulary yet, but you speak in your native tongue, you'll feel as smart as ever. So that's also a big issue is being able to be understood and communicating your thoughts in a way that you feel that you're getting the message across,
Yeah.
relying on somebody else to translate for you all the time.
Right. The Move with Peace, it's a YouTube series, right?
It's a YouTube series that we're in pre-production right now,
Okay.
and we'll be launching before the end of the year. And we will be having kind of little fireside chats actually on Instagram as well, where there'll be like 15 to 20-minute chats with people in my community here. And
Yeah.
hopefully I'll be able to go abroad to other countries to talk to people. I'm going to be researching some grants for
Yeah.
new creators to help, fund the project because I really want to take it global, not just within the confines of Italy, of course, but reach out to other places as well with other lovely people and what they're going through.
If you could dream big, what's the kind of community you're hoping to build with Moved with Peace? Who's it for? Outside of just, okay, I've moved to another country. Is it just that simple or like?
I see it as a space for immigrants, for
Mm.
migrants, expats, also digital nomads, people maybe who
Yeah.
are not necessarily going to be in a permanent place for long, but really a space for us to feel comfortable talking about taboo subjects and mental health,
Yeah.
and a place where we could share resources, share stories, share advice, and be able to support one another, in the wins. And because they come and then they go. And of course, we want more wins than none, but there's moments where we have tough strife, and leaning on people that you feel you can connect with is super paramount.
And it's like, again, I think from the outside, as soon as somebody's like, "Oh, Stephanie's moving to Italy," it's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so fabulous. That's going to be so great." And then we see you go off, and then we just think it's fine, and it's like, no, not necessarily.
I'm not in villas every weekend drinking
Right.
champagne and yeah, I'm not hanging out at the piazza every weekend and, enjoying everything. Sometimes I have to work.
Hello. Hello.
And support my family and help with the kids. And, I mean, of course, the Italian way of life is very inviting and invites you to really take a slower method of living, and also just within the confines of social structure of how things are run in Italy, like from 1 o'clock to 4:30, the stores are closed.
Yeah.
So if you were trying to rush, get all your errands done on some things, you can't go to that store because it's closed. So you take your break and you have your lunch and coffee, which is, really nice. And do feel like my internal clock has slowed down since coming here from New York, because New York is definitely, you're on the go, you're going here, you're going there, you're meeting people, you're doing things, there's always something happening. City that is just always got something going on, which I absolutely love, and always down for that. But yeah, of course, when you're a caretaker, it becomes a little bit of a different path.
Yeah.
But
And there's something about like, if all the stores slow down, it's like, it reminds me of like nap time in preschool. Like if all the other kids are laying down and going to sleep, you might as well too, because there's no point of you like being up, like everybody else is asleep. So just fall in line and fall
relax.
asleep. Yep. Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of like Italian culture, you and your partner are building the Italian Reset retreat, right? Which sounds dreamy.
Yes, I've met two other ladies, one who is also based here in Italy, and she lives outside of Rome, and then another lady that I met actually through a lovely community group called the OGC Club. And we all connected together and decided that we are going to launch a retreat in 2027.
Yeah.
So we have a ways away, but we're planning it thoroughly.
Yeah.
And it's called the Italian Reset, and it is on serenity, sisterhood, wellness, where we focus not just on food culture and eating, and also nature, connecting with oneself, movement, mindfulness, and camaraderie together with other women to build lasting friendships and connections that can keep going after they leave the retreat.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, who doesn't love a guided tour, first of all? Like guiding me through anything, especially through, another country, and then you're going to get me to reset myself sounds like a true dream. And it also is like sort of smart. Like I feel like a good business model, because if you don't like to plan, like I don't like to plan, like I would easily, like I will come to the Italian Reset retreat, because it's like, I just know, like, I just have to sign up, get my ticket, like, follow y'all's plan, and I'm going to be good to go.
Yes.
And people really, really love experiences like that. So I love that you're hosting it outside of maybe doing it for, for folks to get healed, but it's also like such a great business and such a great thing to do.
Oh, thank
Both
you.
sides, yeah.
We're very excited about it, and it's really cool that we're all three women of color, and we all have really great experiences to really make this a memorable experience for everyone. And it's not just like, oh, going to party in Italy and drink so much wine and have pizza and, gelato and all that stuff. It's a nice addition, of course, and to
Sure.
experience part of that. But yeah, we really want to feel as though you've come away with a lot of golden gems that you will carry with you,
Yeah.
for the rest of your life.
Yeah. One of the last things I just want to ask you is, how do you stay so grounded when you're building so much community and creativity?
Yeah, that's a very great question. I lean on friends, actually,
Mhm.
a little
Mhm.
bit. I've always felt I've been able to at least have a few very close friends that I can just lean on and talk to and reach out to and open up to when I'm trying these things out and working and building these things. And it's been really important to maintain friendships that I had before I left New York because, they were my ride or die. So why
Right.
shouldn't they still be, while I'm in another country, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to say bye,
Right.
So having them as well as family have been really helpful to keep me grounded.
Yeah. That's such a treat that you have that. That's like so important too to think about with friendships. Like, that's something I'll think about even past our conversation because I had did a workshop around confidence for this writers group and it was really fun. But one of the things, friendship definitely came up a lot in that group, like how friends will impact folks and thinking about like friends that just sort of leave, or whatever. Like, so when you moved, it's like, yo, we could still be friends. Like this, my location does not change anything about our friendship, but there were folks in there that maybe they had moved, not just across the country, maybe like moved in jobs or just like moved, no longer roommates, these types of things that really impacted friendships. And it's just like, dang, it's like, look, if I can't afford this apartment anymore and I'm moving home, like, how come we have to stop being friends because of that? So friendship is just it's such an important thing, but it's also such a bizarre thing, especially when, the ebbs and flows of it. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah, it really is, especially as you get older, because I overanalyze things way too much. And so sometimes I have to take a step back and say, okay, why has this relationship kind of faltered or, you know, not the same as it was? And
Yeah.
sometimes then I put the blame on myself and they're like, is it something I did? And then I think, well, no, it's not that. And then there's the other aspect of like, was I giving so much in the relationship, but I wasn't receiving the same amount of energy? Because sometimes there's that too, where you give so much and you're there, but
Yo.
your battery is not charging up either, and you're feeling like it's too much for you to keep giving, and then you don't have enough in your boat going.
Right.
And that happens too. So I have had to say, okay, I'm stepping away and not like cutting off, but saying, okay, this is, I don't want to say no longer serves me, but it's not nourishing, I guess
Hello.
that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know how you have friends that feel they give you that good nourishment, and then
Yes.
others are just like taking it and just eating it like wolves. Like, I'm just gonna take it all.
Yes. For real.
They're just
Man, for real. Yes.
hot meat or something. I don't know.
Hello? Hello? Yes. Oh my goodness.
So
This
you're
is
like,
so
okay, well, I can't give anymore. So
right. You ate it all. You ate all the meat, dog. Like, I
yeah,
have
you just ate it. You ate
no
all of it.
more.
You
You
took
ate
all,
all of
and I
it.
have no more.
I
So
have no more.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, what's like one thing that you're like looking forward to? Anything.
Yeah, I will say I am really excited about my winter trip with my sister. She's actually living abroad. She lives in England.
Okay.
And so we've had the chance to like get together over the like summer because she has children as well. And so we've planned this really exciting winter trip to go to the mountains and go skiing and, take some Christmas market trips. So I'm really
Fun.
excited. And my mom is also coming too. So it's going to be, I'm excited for this like winter trip, especially because I'm going before Christmas.
Oh,
So
okay.
before Christmas Day. And I'm excited not to have to plan or do anything for Christmas. Like I'm just going somewhere else and I'm just going to enjoy my time. Like I don't have to go to the parties, go to the family functions, like because I've been doing that every year. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to not do that for a year.
Right. Man, I'm trying to get my folks, like my mom was like, you're going to host Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm like, okay, but these folks don't know we're about to be chilling at a restaurant. I'm not trying to have like, like pots and like the
Yeah,
cleanup, the
dishes,
tablecloths, like,
flatware, yeah,
yes. And it's
all of
like,
that.
yo, we can go
Leftovers.
to, packing people up. It's like,
It's so
we can go
exhausting.
to this restaurant, chill, then y'all can come back if you want. And then maybe I'll
Yeah,
have
the
like,
pie.
so that's it. We'll
Yeah,
have our pie, we'll have our coffee. That's simple,
yeah,
right? I
yeah,
can order that from the baker, pull it out before we head to dinner. By the time we come back, we are good to go. And I'm
right?
like, this just seems so dreamy, but it also is like, I feel like when I try to like pitch this to my family, like what would my like grandmother think about this? Like, but I'd be like, look, if
Why aren't you
grandma was
cooking? Why
here,
aren't you cooking?
I'd be like, grandma, you better get in the car. We're
Eh,
going to the restaurant. We are
yeah,
going to the
yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, you
So
can't
yeah,
do
so
it every year. I mean,
no,
year after year, like, planning these things, like family functions for, holidays and things, it really is a lot of effort, you know? It's a lot of
yes.
effort.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I am so excited for you to do nothing but ski for the holidays. What a dream. And I hope your kiddos have fun, your sister and the kiddos have fun. That
Thank you.
is, oh my gosh, I love it.
What are you looking forward to towards, the last 3 months of the year 2025?
I think I'm just looking forward to being like in a clear mind. I'm not sure what that's going to mean yet. But as I've been like decluttering my studio, like organizing, throwing stuff away. And I feel like I'm looking forward to just chilling on the couch with my family and just hanging out. Like, really, even if it's like my cousins that are hosting Christmas, like another thing I don't have to deal with. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just looking forward to just like not lifting a finger, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like not all the extra because it's so stressful and it's already been such a crazy year. I just want to be chilling, really.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Low
low
effort.
effort, maximum joy.
Yes. Yes. For real. For real. Like, how much joy can I get for the least amount of effort?
Yeah, yeah, go for that. That's where we're going.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for being on Nosy AF.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie.
Yes, I love it so much. This has been another episode of Nosy AF. I'm your host, Stephanie Graham. If you liked what you heard today, go ahead and give Nosy AF some love by leaving a 5-star rating and review wherever you're listening. It helps folks who find the show think, ooh, if they like Nosy AF, I might like it too. You can find full show notes and transcripts at noseyAF.com. And while you're there, sign up for my newsletter, Good Stuff Only, where I share studio stories, fresh art, messy ideas, and each month's episodes straight to your inbox. Thank you so much for your time today. Until next time, stay curious and take care. Bye.